Hi and welcome to Scholars Tutorial. I'm Jay and this tutorial we're talking about reports. Now, Ali Dayo is a person that's logged in and he's a teacher. I'm going to use his portfolio as the SS2A form teacher to demonstrate this. We'll be talking about the academic reports at the end of the term or annually, at the end of the term or year, or for the students. Now, we are going to have access to that using this particular navigation item. When we click on that, we'll have this interface. The first one we have that this one is about the template report for this particular term 2014-2015 term SS2A for all the students. These are the students in that particular class, and we have that this one is for compute. If you refresh this place, it will recompute their particular report. Report is that to compute a report, it tries to give them positioning. To compute the report, it tries to calculate the aggregate score in all the subject they offered and the percentage aggregate score in all the subject they offered. Now that is that, and the other particular thing we can do here is that when we click on each one, it can compute only for that particular person, and when we click on this particular refresh, it will compute for all of them. Now we can use this place to activate and deactivate any of the reports in case any of the report has been computed erroneously. What I mean is that the student is not in the class and his report was computed. You can use this place to deactivate it or activate it as the case may be. You can click on this place. This report has been released, so it means that students that belong to this particular class can go on and check their results online through their own application using their users account, their student users account. Now we can actually click on this place and we'll revoke this release of this report, and none of those students can actually access their reports again. Normally by default it will not be released, and after the subject teacher have entered their scores and the form teacher have actually completed the report, then the form teacher can actually click on this particular button. Maybe then by then it will be released and you will release the report and everybody can use it, can see it. That is the student in the class. Now we have the other one there, that this one we'll come back later to explain this more, and this one we'll use these two particular buttons to explain more thing about them. Now we have this position. When we click on position, we can refresh this. If we refresh it, will reposition the students according to their the score, their percentage aggregate score. Now as you can see, this one is already, if we click here and we made any particular modification before and we'll click refresh, it will try to compute their position in the arm, that is SS2E, and position in class, that is in the whole of SS2. Now we'll talk about the comments. Now we can actually comment on the report of the student as the form teacher. We have a summary of their report. The report category is this: the percentage aggregate and the aggregate score. We have the position in class, position in arm. You can also select multiple and submit. When we submit, we can then input a particular comment. This comment will now be used for this particular three students as this particular case for selection. We can go back to this compute. When we go back to this compute, we can click on this particular one. We will then be computing for that particular report. It is that the report was successfully edited, it's computed for that report. And one virtue of that, if you look at it, it was previously 70 and it is now 72, meaning that the subject teachers may have changed the score then. Now, and this the particular unique nature of this particular is this: after the end of each term, nobody can actually alter any particular record again, because the record will be made final, and there is no way, unless you seek that the vice principal should make your account virtually active, so that you can edit something maybe that everybody has attested that that is actually wrong. Now when this having proceeded with this interface, you will now be all the students in that particular class, you have to go through this procedure for them, so that you can actually specify whether they are passed or not, and their report category, whether they are passed or failed, or whether they are withdrawn, as the case may be. You can have this, you may have multiple report category apart from this ones, and this one is like you are trying to just round up the report for them, so that their reports will be classified accordingly. Now this is the detail of the report, and We have the days present is 8 and the days absent is 65. We have the comments from the form teacher, comment of the house master, and the principal's comment, and then the person, the names of the person as a form teacher, and all of them, all of those things. Now we have here will be the listing of the subjects. Now for this very first one, we have mathematics, and this is the score, and this is the grade, and this is the position the person obtained the mathematics in the arm and in the class. The comment of the mathematics teacher, and the teacher is this. Now we can have multiple. You can click here to go back. So in this particular case, we'll use this one to what, to actually assign the, to actually state whether the report for that student overall is pass, or and they specify the report category of the students. That's what we use this for. Then we can go back to the previous interface. Now we do that for this, for all of them, so that we can actually specify whether they passed or not and their report category. Now this one, we can move forward to specify the motor skills of the students. Now that is the mark and motor skill. Now this is the motor skill, and if you look at this one, we have that about the bearing, the motor skill for sports is 4, and that of the catering is 5, and this one handicraft was not specified. The motor skill for handicraft was not specified. You can specify it to be 4, and this other one can specify it to be anything. And after this particular alterations, you can click submit, and all their motor skill will be submitted. Now the same thing goes for social behavior, and you can also do that for social punctuality and obedience. Then we can go back a little bit and still explain more on this particular assembly report. Now we can actually download the assembly report as an Excel file. If you click on this, you will have access to download it as an Excel file onto your computer, and downloading it, we can actually use it to, you can actually use the data there for any other analysis. This is it, and we'll remove that one. I'll remove this one also. Then we can go further to click on this particular one. When we click on this particular one, we'll have access to a few more things about it. Now through that particular more, you have access to actually view the reports, the report sheet, the way it's going to be formatted, and we'll have this as a summary of the report, and this will be the alterations that have been happened, modification that are, or updates that has happened to the report over time. And if you click on this particular report sheet, we'll be presented with this one. For each school, this one will be nicely formatted and edited with their logo and every other color scheme of the school, and it will become more presentable. This particular school here is a fictitious school, doesn't have all those things attached to it. So for each school, this particular report sheet will be made more nicer. And look at the detail of the report sheet. On the report sheet, we'll have the category of the report, which is passed, that the pass is passed, and we'll have the next thing when it starts, and we'll have the term arm. That is the person belongs to SS2A, and this particular is talking about 2014-2015 third term. Position in arm, the aggregate score 72. The days present, house of the student, the position in class of aggregate percentage, and days absent. We have the listing of all the subjects that the student offered for that particular term. We have that the English is this, although his result on English was not entered, and the data of mathematics was entered like this, and you find out that the second assignment he had is he scored 20 over 25 and it has a weight of 2.5. The first assignment is 10 over 20 and have a weight of 2.5. Bit making project, well, he didn't submit this one, it was not entered for him. In the test exam he had 91 over 100, and the percentage, the score is 92%, and the grade is B2. After the result is very good. This is the comment of the subject teacher that taught the mathematics, and this is the position of his position in mathematics in the arm is 1 out of 4 students. The position in the class is 1 out of the 4 students, or that is the class SS2 as a whole. Then the lowest score is 0, and the average score for the mathematics 41, and the highest score is 72. This is a very nice statistics about the detail of each subject. This one will be the same to English, will be the same to all the subjects, as this just the way the subject teacher has entered them, and it will reflect those statistics there. Now we have that the motor scale is this. It shows us the particular his particular ratings on the motor skill and social behavior. The comments, the form teacher's comments, and the housemaster's comments and the principal's comments are there. The name of the housemaster, form teacher, and principals are written there. Now then this we can click on Ctrl P. When we click on Ctrl P, we have access to actually print it using our printer that is attached to the computer, or we can actually save it as an Excel file. When we click on this, we can then save it on our system, and that is that. We can click on this. It tells us that it was already saved before. Maybe we'll just leave it there because it's already saved before. Then this one we can click to view the one that has already been saved in my computer before. Have open, and this is it, and we'll have it like this. So we can have it as a PDF on our computer, and when we have it as a PDF on our computer, we can always use it anytime we want it, and we can actually transfer it to another person to see our results electronically. Then let's cancel this one and go back. Then we can go back to where we are coming from. Now on this page we have explained almost everything here about as regards to terminal reports. We'll go to the annual report. When we click on annual report, let's say for this term is third term and we need to prepare the annual report. Now to prepare the annual report, you just need to carry out almost the same thing. For that, you have to click on the position, and in position you refresh it, and you position all the students there. It means that the report of the other students were not completed. So then the report of this one, the comment, you select the multiple students there and submit them. You can comment on them just the way we did for terminal report. And when we click on compute to go back to that interface, we have the capability of clicking on each one, and it will compute for that particular one. It's just computed for that particular one, and we'll use that particular means to this particular button. Apart from computing for a single individual, we'll use that also to specify whether the student passed according to the criterion of passing, and also to specify the report category that this report belongs to, as has been written by the ICT admin on behalf of the school management. These are the report category that is in the skill system. This is the review of how the report look like, and these are the subjects that the students offered. Now when we get back to when we leave this interface, we can click this and submit it, and it will be recorded. When we leave this interface, if we click refresh, it will compute the report for that particular time, and we can also download this in Excel, and we'll have access to work on the data statistically. Then we can also choose to multiple activate or deactivate all the reports that are listed here. We can also use this interface so that we can actually print out the report card of the students. Now this shows us the modification that has gone over the period on the report, and this is the brief overview of the report. When we click on this, we'll have access to the report card, and this is the report report sheet for the particular term. And just as we have the first term score, the first term score, the second term score, and the third term score, it's happened that the first and second term scores were not entered. The third term score is 72. The score that is average of the four of them, three of them is 72%. Grade is B2, and this is the report, the comments that the subject has stated, and these are some other statistics about the performance of other students on the platform. And this is the motor skill and social behavior for the 3 terms. You don't have to specify an annual social motor skill and social behavior. It will just display the social behavior and motor skills for the 3 terms, and the comments of everybody, that's the form teacher, the housemaster, and the principal, will be listed here. And these are some other details about the term and the students in question. Now we can also click Ctrl P to actually print that, and save that on our computer, as the case may be. With this, we have come to the end of this tutorial. We look forward to seeing you in next tutorial, and make sure your school is signed up on our scholars.